Okay, so I was just thinking about one of my favorite movies and favorite series, and it's the Tyler Perry's Why Did I Get Married movies. Love those movies. I've been watching them since I was a kid. They came out probably when I was in like middle school, I want to say. But I've always really loved those movies, and even now, like me and my wife go back and watch them like every couple months. I'm pretty sure they're on Tubi or something. But just really good movies. But I wanted to talk about something because it just crossed my mind. Like that dinner scene from the first movie goes viral on TikTok like every couple months or so, like every now and then. And just getting back on TikTok, I seen it pop up, but it made me think about something. In that dinner scene, right? Mike, after getting it revealed that he's cheating on Sheila, decides to air out everybody else's dirty laundry, because obviously if I'm getting my marriage ruined, I'm gonna ruin everybody else's marriage, because what other logical thing would you do, right? So I was looking at the movie, or I wasn't looking at the movie, but it just made me think, like, we know that, like, this is my thing. Why would y'all be friends with this man? Is what I'm trying to figure out in my head. Because this dude is clearly a supervillain. But in my head, I'm like, y'all didn't see the potential for something like this happening, being friends with this man? Because again, I'm trying to figure out why were y'all ever friends with him? Because when you watch the movie, we know that the women, all the girls out of all the couples, went to college together. They were I can't remember all of their names right now, but I can't remember her name. I can't remember her name. But Tyler Perry's wife in the movie, or Terry's wife in the movie, was roommates and best friends with Patricia, who was Janet Jackson's character. And I think Angela and Sheila were roommates in college, but they knew each other, and then they got in relationships and ended up getting married. What they don't say in the movie is how all the boys ended up becoming boys. They don't say how all the men became friends. So I'm just curious, like, I'm assuming from the movie, since all the girls knew each other, were best friends, eventually they got married, started bringing their husbands around each other, and then the husbands just, fell into friendship. But my thing is, like, how did y'all end up getting so comfortable with this man? Because this man knows intimate details about your marriage. And this thing, when you married, your spouse knows, like, everything. Like, you can't ask a person who's married to keep a secret for you and expect their spouse to not know. They're gonna know. So anytime, anybody who's not married, if you're watching this video and you decide you got a friend who's married, if you tell them something, their spouse is going to know that thing. You should just assume that you're telling them, their spouse is also going to know. Unless it's something that's like super duper like private and like maybe like I don't even know. Like I have yet to see something that's like off limits for somebody to be told. But there might be like certain situations, if you like really express to them like, no, I don't want anybody to know. I feel like unless you specify don't tell your spouse, then it's gonna be like, that'll be the situation where they won't tell. But Mike knew so intimate stuff that not even did he learn from Sheila from the friend. He only person that he knew intimate stuff about their marriage that didn't come from the husband was Diane. That's her name. That's Terry's wife's name. Diane getting her tubes tied. But he found that out from Sheila, who Diane told in confidence. So I'm assuming all the women knew about that, but Sheila told Mike, and Mike knew because he got it from Sheila. Everybody else, Terry was the only person who didn't give him information, probably because he didn't know that thing. But whatever secrets that Terry do have, Mike don't know about it, obviously, because he would have brought it up at that table. Marcus trusted him with knowing that he had cheated, because he cheated all the time. That's like a thing that Marcus do. He sleep with his baby mama every now and then, and Angela don't even really trip because she go and sleep with somebody else to get her get back. At least that's what she did at that time in the movie. And Gavin, the one who's supposed to be like the role model of the group, is going to Mike in the middle of the night, blaming his wife for the death of their son. Where did that come from? Because when I remember when I first watched it, it comes off to me the way like it's written and the way the characters interact. Patricia and Gavin are like the standard of marriage in the movie, right? They have the quote-unquote best relationship. They communicate the best. They're always in the best moods. And granted, it's supposed to show that like even the couple who portrays themselves and holds themselves at such a high standard that looks perfect all the time don't be perfect. And you see in the second movie how bad it really can get in relationships. But Gavin comes off as the dude who's like, I know all this stuff, I'm putting it all into action, and we working through it all. And if you watch both movies, you know that this moment of Mike revealing what happened, revealing that Gavin blamed Patricia for the death of their child, is probably the thing that makes them spiral down to the point of divorce in the second movie. This moment at the dinner table, mind you, if you haven't seen these movies, you don't know what I'm talking about, so you should go watch them and then come back and watch the video so you can really understand. But this moment, for anybody who watches both movies, this is probably the moment that started the spiral downhill, because they were good. Even if they weren't fully addressing their traumas and fully addressing like what really happened and hadn't really worked through it yet, they were still in like good understanding. Even if they were kind of going with the flow, they were still like communicating and having an effective marriage. But Gavin, of all people, the guy who's like the lawful good, if you play D&D, you know what that reference is, the perfect guy, Gavin, is talking to the low down dirty fool about how he feels and giving him like his dirty secret that he blames his wife for the death of their child. Why would you trust that man with that type of information? I would have thought Gavin would have went to Terry with that, or maybe came to all of the boys collectively together and been like, I don't know what to do. It was her fault, and I blame her, and I'm trying to work through this. And maybe they helped him with that and told him to go to therapy or whatever. But he went to Mike. Of all of the dudes in the group, you went to Mike and said, Mike, I blame my wife? That makes no sense to me, like at all. And I feel like any married man with common sense knows, like, even if you got like homeboys that are like kind of toxic or whatever, or you know they're not in the best place that they should be or could be, you know, relationally with their spouse or whatever, you know, it's certain things I'm not gonna tell that man because I can't trust him with that, because I know his character and I know his stuff. Like, the friends that I have, or the people that I would talk to about my relationships, I know, like, I can get into some deep stuff with them. You know what I'm saying? But if I had a homie who I know is, like, real, like, toxic and is always cheating on his wife, first of all, I'm not going to have a homie like that, because you got, like, one good time to, like, have a very serious issue with your wife and then be working through it, and I need to see the action behind that. But if you constantly doing the same thing over and over and over, like cheating on your wife serially and habitually, or putting hands on people and stuff, we're not gonna be cool. We're not gonna finna kick it. Like, I don't want to be around people like that, right? But that's probably the most, like, the thing that flabbergasts me the most about that relationship with them men. Gavin, who is like shown as like the best guy in the group, is trusting the worst guy in the group with his deepest, darkest secret, that he blames his wife for the death of their child. That's crazy to me. That was absolutely crazy. Like, to really sit and think about it. Granted, again, when I first saw the movie, I was young, so I didn't fully understand the nuance and like the deepness of a situation like that. But now, as a husband, as a father, I know that's out of here, bro. That's crazy. So that's one thing for me. Marcus is like he's like almost, he's the only thing that makes him semi better than Mike is the fact that he's like, I don't even know if there is anything that makes Marcus better than Mike, because they're basically like, you would think they would be the ones that are best friends because he's big up in him. Marcus was big up in Mike when they were talking about Mike saying that he cheated, or admitting and kind of revealing to the men that he's sleeping with Sheila friend, Trina. You know what I'm saying? And then, so you could tell he not where he's supposed to be because he big up in him, knowing he just cheated on his wife, and they kicking it like it's cool. Like it's cool to cheat on your wife. Like, that's crazy to me. So you would have thought that Terry and Gavin would be the ones confiding into each other. And those are like, we're the good guys. We're trying to do better. We're trying to be good to our wives. And Mike and Marcus are the ones that are like tripping and having issues because they not really doing where they need to be or whatever. And even though Marcus is like semi trying to be better, but also kind of dragging his feet, Mike just don't care. So that's just kind of my headspace. Why are y'all still friends with this man, knowing, especially seeing how he treats his wife? Like, even before you knew he was cheating on her, then you know he's cheating on her. I would have just been like, excommunicado, my dude. We can't kick it. Like, you're on a whole nother tip. I'm not trying to be around that. I don't need that in my spirit. But I don't know. That just popped in my head and I wanted to talk about it. It may not have necessarily been the most cohesive thoughts, but that's just what I was feeling. So, all right then. I'll see y'all later. Peace. Love y'all.